But seriously, have you ever stopped to think about that? When you're completely out, totally unconscious, what is telling your lungs to breathe and your heart to keep on pumping? Because you're not doing it consciously. So, what is?
Well, the answer is your autonomic nervous system. This is the incredible, silent network that runs all the vital background processes of your life without you ever having to lift a finger or even think a single thought about it. So, this system, the autonomic nervous system, we'll call it the ANS for short, is basically the master controller for everything you don't have to think about. We're talking digestion, blood pressure, body temperature, the absolute essentials for survival. It's on duty 24/7, even when you're fast asleep, just keeping you alive. Okay, so where does this amazing autopilot actually fit into the bigger picture? To really get it, we need to do a quick little map of the entire nervous system. So think of it like this. Your whole nervous system has two main parts. First, you've got the command center. That's the central nervous system, your brain and spinal cord. And then you've got the peripheral nervous system, which is this huge network of nerves branching out from the center, connecting it to literally every other part of your body.
And if we zoom in on that big peripheral network, it splits again. One part is the somatic system. That's for all the voluntary stuff, right? Like deciding to move your arm or take a step. The other part, well, that's our star for today. The autonomic system, the one that manages everything you don't consciously control. Now, what's really, really cool about this autopilot is that it isn't just one thing. It's more like a dynamic duo. And the best way to think about it is as your body's gas pedal and its brake, working together in this constant, crucial balancing act.
So here they are, the two sides of the same system. On one side, you have the sympathetic system. That's your gas pedal. It kicks in during stress or danger, prepping your body for that classic fight or flight response. And on the other side, you've got the parasympathetic system. That's the brake. It takes over when things are calm, managing all the rest and digest functions to save up your energy.
So when that gas pedal gets slammed down, what actually happens? Well, your heart rate just skyrockets, your pupils get wide to let in more light, and your entire body is primed for sudden, intense action. It is your internal alarm system going off full blast.
And then, when the danger passes, the brake pedal gently takes over. Your heart rate slows back down, your body gets back to the business of digesting your last meal, and all your systems shift back into energy-saving mode. It's just this perfect push and pull. I mean, the sheer scope of what this system controls is just mind-boggling. It's like an unseen conductor directing a massive orchestra inside you. So let's do a quick whirlwind tour of just some of the instruments it's playing.
Let's start with your eyes. Ever notice how you don't have to think about adjusting when you walk into a bright room? Your pupils just shrink. Yep, that's the ANS, automatically protecting your vision and helping you focus, second by second. Or how about your skin? That ability to sweat to cool down on a hot day. That's your ANS. And that weird but totally universal feeling of getting goosebumps when you're cold or even a little scared, that's your autopilot at work again, trying to trap a layer of warm air. And this is a big one. Your heart's rhythm, how fast it beats, how hard it pumps, that is constantly being fine-tuned by the ANS to make sure your blood pressure is exactly where it needs to be, whether you're fast asleep or running a marathon. It's also in charge of your lungs. The ANS is constantly adjusting how open or constricted your airways are, making sure you're getting the perfect amount of oxygen, whether you're chilling on the couch or sprinting for the bus. And maybe its biggest job of all is digestion. The ANS manages the entire process, controlling your intestines, telling your liver when to release energy, and your pancreas when to release insulin. It's a massive, unbelievably complex operation, and it's all happening completely behind the scenes. So this system is absolutely amazing. But what happens when the autopilot gets damaged? This is a condition called autonomic neuropathy, and it can have some really serious consequences for all those functions we just talked about. So what can cause this kind of damage? Well, the causes are incredibly varied. Unmanaged type 2 diabetes is a major one for sure, but it can also be triggered by autoimmune diseases, certain infections, physical trauma, or even exposure to toxins like heavy metals or too much alcohol. The signs that something's wrong can be pretty subtle at first. Things like getting dizzy every time you stand up because your blood pressure isn't adjusting like it should. Or maybe problems with digestion, sweating way too much or not at all, or even irregular heartbeats. These are all little clues that the autopilot might be on the fritz. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom.
The good news is that there are very practical, simple steps we can all take to protect this incredible system and keep our autopilot running smoothly for a long, long time.
And the steps are surprisingly straightforward. It all starts with a balanced diet to give your nerves the vitamins they need. It also includes staying physically active, which helps prevent conditions like type 2 diabetes. Of course, if you do have a chronic condition, managing it properly is absolutely key. And finally, it's about simple common sense, like using safety equipment to prevent injuries that could cause nerve damage.
You know, this quote really just says it all. The autonomic nervous system is the ultimate background hero. You don't have to give it a single moment's thought, and yet it tirelessly keeps the entire complex machinery of your body running perfectly. It's just a remarkable piece of biological engineering. So that leaves us with one final question to think about. Knowing everything the silent system does for you, day in and day out, without any fanfare, what's one thing you can do today to help take care of your body's amazing autopilot?